Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it all, but this is the half of the headliner board for the A-Team van. And over here, I have got this reasonably clean, at least the first cleaning. And this has the old foam that has kind of just deteriorated. And that's why your headliner comes down, is because this deteriorates, and that's what's attached to the cloth. So if you've ever wondered what happens when you have a droopy headliner, you're looking at it. But before we can put spray adhesive on anything, we have to clean all this old foam off, or we're going to have a headliner that's sagging again. It's a slow and tedious job, and I've tried it with a couple different things. I first started off using this trim removal tool, and that's just managed to wear it down. So that don't work very good. The last headliner I did, I tried to use a wire wheel, and that, I didn't do this, but that's what happens when you try to use a wire wheel. It tears up the board. Believe it or not, we are using a wood chisel. Scrape, scrape, and then you vacuum it up. Nothing fun about it, but I thought y'all might be able to keep me company. Lotus, what's up? I should have made a thing out of this and made a party and had milk and cookies or beer and pretzels. But it's absolutely a sucky job. JB, you have probably done this once or twice in your life, I'm going to guess. I assume you've owned several GM vehicles in your life. But this part of it I went over twice over here, and I figured this is going to take at least 2 more hours. That took about 90 minutes to do all that. But I made this mistake years ago by squirting spray foam. Ugh, can't talk today. Spray foam on this foam. What a mess. Yeah, and the headliner didn't stick. So you got to get all this crap off. Renegade, how are you? Yeah, I know it, not fun. Oscillating tool with the scraper, I do, but these boards are really kind of delicate, and I'm like a bull in a china closet on most days, so I would tear the hell out of the board, I assure you. It would look like that all over it. I'm going to take some contact adhesive and try to get that all stuck back down, because even though I actually did buy headlining material, it will hide a little bit of the imperfections, but it's not going to hide them all. Cowboy, how are you? Jim Bob. And Chris. Chris, you got any idea to take a drywall knife a ton faster? I don't have one of those. If I did, it probably lost it in my shop fire years ago. Hell, I had to buy a window, what do you want to call it? A window crank down tool for the Pontiac. I had one. I'm like, where the hell is that? I looked all over for it, and now I remember. I keep forgetting about my shop fire, and I lost everything, and I'm still running across crap that I still think I have, but I don't. So, a mud knife, yeah. Mud knives and me don't get along very good. And matter of fact, the last time I done drywall in a house, I finally give up and had somebody come and look at it and do it. He said, next time, call me before you stop. Yeah, I've got a shop back over here, but I don't think that it will suck it up when it's already on there. We'll try it. Yeah, it does take it off a little bit, doesn't it? Don't take it all off, but it takes the top of it off. I didn't figure this old vacuum would have that much suction. That is definitely a lot faster. Yeah, take one layer off, nothing else. Appreciate that. Stiff wire wheel. I tried the wire wheel thing, Lotus, and that turned out to be bad news because there's a fine line between knocking it off and tearing the hell out of the board. And guess what happened last time? It tore the hell out of the board. So, yeah, no wire wheel for me. I'll get it. It just takes some time. So. What are you guys up to today? I spent half my morning going to doctors, so good times. Good times. David, I'm going to get to your video. I seen you just put one out. As soon as I'm done with the live stream, I'm going to flip the tube on and watch it. Yard work. Yeah. That's the worst part about warm weather. I have probably about 4 acres, at least 4 acres that I mow. More than I want. I need to mow about 12, but I need my brush hogger going, and it's like all my equipment down. So inside the house, yeah. I don't know. It's too nice here to be inside the house. On your way to Nashville, okay? Yeah, I seen you posted that event. So are you going to be entering the pro or the bro? I'm going to guess the pro. I did your house work shop, boss's house. Okay. Sometime this month, I got to get over to Twisted Mopower's place and get that boat. Not that I want a boat, I want the motor out of the boat. So we will probably load that up live. That'll be like a goat rope thing. So I think Dennis said he was going to turn his live on too. So I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of loading that boat because it has no trailer. And I'm going to load it on a flatbed gooseneck. So can you imagine how that's going to be? Ron English, how are you? Lars, I don't know if I got everybody in here or not, but did manage to get a template done for the van for the overhead console. Man, that was a rigging nightmare to get that curvature. There was no way I was going to get anybody in there to view it on tape, because barely enough room for me to be in there fighting it. But I got the template made. We're going to use this wood right here, and as you, I don't know if you guys can see the marking here. I'll have to measure how long I want to get it, but we got to get this done first and covered. Like I say, this board's only half the van. There's another one this size too. Whether I do the back half this year remains to be seen, but this will probably be enough to tackle this year. Baby steps, guys, baby steps. I have ADD and I have a hard time keeping track of everything. Interested if you did a text live stream. I don't know what a text live stream is, Cowboy. Ha! Get on him, Lotus. Get on him. I might have to sharpen this stupid thing. I'm pretty bad when that material wears the metal down. It's coming off, but man, it is a slow process. When I went to buy the fabric for this, I think the lady at Hobby Lobby thought I was nuts, because I mean it was headline material. And I said, what did I tell her I needed? 18 running feet of the material. She kind of looked at me like, what the hell are you covering? A lot of people nowadays don't even know what a full-size van looks like. Oh, and I'm sure you guys have subscribed, most of you on here, but if you haven't, please do. I think I'm 29 subs away from getting my 1,000 mark. Sure would like to hit that. Not that I'm going to get monetized because my hours are not there, but a milestone I'd like to get. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember your first 1,000. See, it don't take much to tear that up. Just got into it a little bit. A little bit too much of an angle. Yep, there I did it again, damn it. All right, I'm gonna run the vacuum for a minute. All right, what'd I miss? CCR, how are you? Purple crushed velvet. Yeah, yeah, that's funny. I laugh because speaking of crush, my first cool car, which I've had very few cool cars, was a '75 Firebird, and it had that typical vinyl perforated looking material on the headliner, and it was crap. Uh, so I went to price. Hell, I'm 16 years old. I didn't have no freaking money, and they wanted like, now this is dating myself, guys. This was 1979, I believe it was. They wanted $10 a square yard for crushed velvet. The car was maroon, the interior was black, so I thought I'm going to put red crushed velvet in it. Pimp daddy, right? Okay. Well, hell, I don't remember what it was going to cost, something like 40 or 60 bucks for the material. Hell, I barely had two nickels to rub together. Believe it or not, I went to Walmart and I found a crushed red velvet bedspread, king size bedspread. Figured, why not? I did it. It worked great. I was shocked. I think I paid $19 for it. So, did poor people have poor ways? I still have poor ways, and that's the way I've been all my life, my mentality of thinking. So, if I can do something cheaper, I'm all about it. And yeah, I could have took this to a upholstery shop and let somebody do it. But there again, I'd rather spend the money on something else. I don't like doing this, but I don't mind doing it. There's a lot of worse things doing. I'd rather do this and work on the exhaust. I've been bouncing back and forth between the van and the Pontiac. Right now, I'm currently waiting on logistics. We all know how that is. I think thank God I don't believe any of the stuff I ordered came through FedEx, which is a blessing. I've got I think I have 2 more orders coming in through Amazon and 2 more through Rock Auto. And then I can start tearing down deeper into the Pontiac. But there's got to be a couple more things I've got to buy, but I don't know what they are just yet. So, did I lose you guys? I know last live stream the chat just stopped, and then somebody said it was still going, but on their end, but not on mine. I don't know what the deal is. So, I've been debating on discontinuing my Wednesday live streams for a while, and just doing live streams at like special events. We got this big Route 66 festival coming up here in a few weeks. I think they're making a big deal about it locally. It's 100th anniversary of Route 66, I think. So a lot of the towns on Route 66 are making a big deal about it. So, all right, yeah, I think it'll be a hell of a blowout, and I think it'd be interesting for some of you guys that are not close to Route 66 and know very little about it. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but there's a lot of American history in it. It was one of the main thoroughfares, I'm guessing from, I'm going to say the 1930s until the early 60s. And I think the early 60s is when, what was that, Eisenhower Interstate System started So, and that pretty much killed the O Route 66 because a lot of I-44 absorbed the route. And if you guys are familiar with this area, the I-44 runs basically from St. Louis. I'm not sure where it ends up at, to be honest with you. It goes through the whole state of Missouri and into Oklahoma. And the old Route 66, basically, it went through all Oklahoma and Missouri. So that's probably some of the bigger sections of it. And Oklahoma, they have festivals all over every year in Oklahoma. They have a few here in Missouri. I think most of them are either in Springfield or Joplin. I know they have a big one in Joplin. I've never been to it, but they still the actual Route 66 drive-in theater is, I believe, still standing. It was a few years ago when I drove by it. Kind of well off the beaten path these days, though. Well, I'm thinking for some reason the chat has stopped. I'm not getting any messages, guys, so I don't know if I done something, touched something. I don't know. I haven't muted it. I haven't unmuted. Okay, I see there. There you go. All right. I didn't know. Thanks for letting me know, David, because I guess everybody's just doing their thing, so, and that's cool. I'm actually using that stand that you reviewed right now. I don't think it's charged up, but it is kind of handy. I do like it. So. I guess I told somebody, I don't think I told you, David, but I did have a company reach out to me wanting to do a collaboration on a tractor seat, and evidently they watched my my video on my Kubota tractor when I put a toolbox on it, and they messaged me there, and then I contacted them, and I guess I was too cautious and jacked around too long, and they moved on to somebody else. But you know, it's a shame you got to be that way, that people scamming you all the time. But you know, I don't want to end up like what Chris had happen to him. Not that I'll ever be there, but I mean, it's just took me too long to get where I'm at now, and I'm not sure if somebody got my channel, if I wouldn't just say the hell with it. I don't know. I guess it depends on how hard it would be to get back. I know some of you guys have dealt with it. Not for me. I don't know why there's got to be people like that, but there are. I don't know what they benefit from, but that's something I'm going to have to do, Lotus, is driving but listening. That's cool. At least I know you guys are the chat's still working, so how far are you away from Nashville now? That's a reasonably short drive for you, isn't it? A few hundred miles, maybe three. I have to say, Nashville, I'm pretty good on directions, but I will have to say that Nashville is probably one of the only cities that I've ever honestly got lost in. And now I know the way the city is, the streets are laid out like a wagon wheel. I understand it, but years ago, I was trying to get from one side of town to the other, and come to find out, evidently there was a big ball field there. I drove by that same ball field 3 different times. How, I don't know. But I finally had to, break the man code and go and ask. So, well, that is definitely, you can tell that by the trolls, Roby. They obviously don't have a life. I mean, good gosh. What possesses people to get on somebody's live stream and just show their ass? I just don't understand it. I guess they're miserable in their own little pathetic life that they got to try to make everybody else miserable too. I don't know. Kind of different breed of people than us, that's for damn sure. I got too much crap to do. Chris might have time to go troll somebody, but I don't. So, yeah. Just joking, Chris. I know you're busy in a one-armed paper hanger. Oh, this is working. There's still going to be some residual on here, I'm sure. I'm going to probably take a rag with a little bit of damp brake clean and probably wipe it. Kind of like cheesecloth. I might have some cheesecloth in the body shop drawer. But yeah, you can see, Lotus, it don't take much to peel that stuff up. And every little divot really screws things up. So let me run the vacuum a little bit more again, because if you don't get it vacuumed off, it just smashes down and packs back on there. So. Thanks for the advice, Chris. That does seem to make it go a little quicker. At least the first level. Yep, Roby. I understand. Totally understand. Oh hell, I try not to argue with them. There's no sense. You're not going to win. I mean, the only way you win is if you just freaking block them altogether. I guess, can you actually block somebody? You can make them, you can mute them, but and keep them from making comments. But I think they can still watch you, I guess. No, last night I was looking through all the past live streams, and probably for the past 4 or 5 months, I've not gained a subscriber from any live streams. So, well, I guess I did on that last car show. So, and I understand it, but some of the lives that, they're not the most exciting chit chat sitting in front of the phone. But that's how I kind of decided to do this one here, of doing something, even though it's like watching somebody paint for the most part. But it's 2 hours that I could be actually focusing on work. So, but I do enjoy it. Enjoy hanging out with you guys and shooting the crap with you. So, I know, David, you've stopped yours for a while, and it comes a point in time when it's too time consuming and there's no benefit. You get no benefit out of it other than hanging out with your buddies. There's just no sense in doing it. Or that's what I think, but that's why I think if I just, instead of doing weeklies, just do them kind of at events and hanging out, maybe 1 or 2 every couple months. So. Record and upload videos, yeah. Well, I've got the makings of the Pontiac video. I don't have all of it, but I have the makings of the first Pontiac video. I have the makings of all of the footage of working on the steering on the John Deere lawnmower, which I know some of you guys that wouldn't interest you, but and then I have the beginning of working on the A-Team van's interior. Now I will say the Pontiac, there's a lot of work to do to the Pontiac. That'll be probably 3 to 4 videos, I'd say. So, just guess. It depends. Depends on how much I'm gonna shoot for about 15 to 20 minute videos is my plan. Seems like if you do much longer than that, people start dropping off. And I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know if I can be entertaining for over 15 minutes. Not sure if I can be entertaining for 5 minutes, but what did I had a friend of mine say, well, I watched your video. I think it was on the engine stand. I said, well, tell me, be honest, be brutal. He said, well, kind of low energy. I said, that's a fair statement. I'm kind of a low energy guy. So, I guess I'll have to work on that. I'll just kind of laid back for the most part. I've seen too much, done too much in my life to get too excited about most things, so. All right, so I get caught up here, guys. Why is this not scrolling? There we go. Use us older cats, we have a responsibility, at least try to pass on what little we know and to the next generation, although they could care less. You are correct. I tried to do that with my grandson when because that part of me giving him my truck that I bought new. Now, granted, it's not far from new now. We were going to rebuild it together. I know his dad's not into working on cars and stuff, but he was going to help me sand and paint the car. Well, so he stayed with us a week and we got some of it done. He probably wondered what I was doing a couple of times, but he wasn't able to stay long enough to get the complete job done. But I showed him how to do basic service on a vehicle and how to do brakes and stuff like that. So, I let him do it. I told him how to do it. I showed him one. I said, you do the other side. So I think probably push come to shove, he could do it. I tried to do 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. After that, you're just talking to nobody. You're right. You're right, JB. And I'm going to kind of follow you on that. I think you were actually kind of why I thought, do shorter ones and do them more often. I think would retain people better. Instead of doing a longer one for 40 minutes, put it out in two parts, do 20 minutes, something like that. Well, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, Roby. Let's having issues with this thing today. There we go. Yeah, I was talking to Ryan, VR6 Prodigy, the other day. He made a stupid little short. I think it was an old video that he made. And he was running across the yard in one of his ragdoll cars. And he was giving her hell, boy. I thought he was going to ram another car head on, but he didn't. He went around the house. And I guess when he went around, he pulled the emergency brake and it slid around and he just let out a big old crazy laugh like a crazy man. And it might have been 20 seconds long, 24,000 views. And I'm sure it's still climbing, but it's just amazing what some people will watch. My average views on my shorts will run anywhere between 12 to 1,800 views. Now, I do have some that turned out to be real turds and, didn't get very many views, which is fine, but it is what it is. All we can do is put out the best we know how, so. I did make a second channel that has got one video up on it. Actually, it's got a short. And only thing on that channel was that. I ended up with 8 new subscribers just over that damn video. And it was 50 seconds, I think. Well, I'll take it. I mean, it's not like I've really use that channel a lot right now, but I will for different things. And I actually made a channel for when we start traveling, which that'll probably be in the next couple of years. It's got to be more of a RV travel type content. As you guys know, these garage channels or car content channels are a lot of competition out there. And And, you know, we're kind of a dime a dozen. Unless you get lucky or get good at figuring out a way to draw people in. I might eventually, but enjoy the History Channel, and it'll put your kids to sleep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Is the History Channel even still a thing? I used to love watching that. The biography, the show Biography. I like that. Frankie, how you doing? Yep, you got it. It's a headline. You want to come and help? It actually sucks, but I've got pretty much. We're getting there. I got to fix a couple screwed up places where somebody else had messed with it, and then I'm putting some recessed dome lights. You can see that black X over there. I don't know if you can or not. There it is right there. That black X, I've got some recessed lights that I've got to cut holes about that big, and I'm gonna put them in. It's gonna have two up here and two for the back seat, and get them wired in. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with this. Where the original dome light was at, and they had like one of them big push button generic lights in there. I don't know if I'm going to patch that or try to put some kind of plate over it. I haven't decided yet. Throwing out some ideas, I may try them. I thought about keeping a circle and making some type of emblem or something that says A-Team or something on it. I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet. I've got vinyl to cover the overhead console in. And that's going to be done with a charcoal and a red vinyl. I'm going to run a red stripe down the middle of it. Like you guys suggested, I'm going to keep majority of the stuff in the console period correct for the most part. I swiped the FM CD player out of the Mustang. So that saved me a couple bucks. I figured, hell, that Mustang don't need a CD player in it. It ain't going nowhere for a while. So, and then it had a CB in the console that I bought, but that console came out of a Ford van, and that my plan was to use that. Well, needless to say, when I put it up there, no. It was probably about 2 inches short on both sides. That wasn't going to work, and I tried to use the curvature of the base for the Chevy. Yeah, it wasn't right either. So, but I ended up taking one of these tools, and I took and taped the pencil. I actually taped a marker on it. And I ran that along the rubber of the windshield all the way down. I had a piece of cardboard up there and marked the circle. It was crude, but it was very effective. Worked quite well. So, when you work by yourself, you have to try to figure out ways where you can do it by yourself. I live out in the boonies, so I don't have somebody I can call right off hand real easy. Most of the people that are around me that how people are, they want something from you before they'll give you any help. So I'm better off doing it myself, and I don't have to argue with nobody or argue enough with myself. So All right. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. Carlo, how are you, bud? Vintage Mercury logo art would be cool. Okay. I'm not sure what Mercury logo would be. Is that a font? No, you're 100% correct, Roby. It's the me generation, and even the people that's from our generation have kind of gotten that way. Google Mercury logo. Okay, I will do that. Because, be honest, I have no idea. But, yeah, there's a lot of cool fonts. And, there's got to be something. I think, I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but, it's like anything else that's been out there. It's got a bow here. And as you can see, or maybe you can't, that this has had some water. I'm going to say more like mouse piss in it. And you can see they actually have the, let me take you over to it. It's the easiest way to do this. It actually has insulation in it, which I was shocked that it did. But I think I'm probably going to have to maybe put some strips, like where these metal things are at, and kind of draw the headliner all up to it. I don't know, but it's kind of where I'm thinking. As you can see, there's another one, and it's all come undone too. So. One at a time. I'm not going to get them both out yet, but I want to get this up in the front done first and get the rear air conditioning hooked back up. But so I got seats to mount and boxes of parts. Most of that stuff is going into the overhead console. I've got speakers, stereo, CB. Unfortunately, I could not find a retro switch panel that was in my price range of cheap. So I went a little more modern with it. I do plan on putting a backup camera in it because the windows in the back are pretty much blacked out. And you really can't see crap from there. Can't hardly see in it. It's got that old funky purple looking tinting. You guys can see it. It's kind of purple looking. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I will probably, when we get to it, I will probably put some limo tin in. I have done some repair on the floor. That thing was rusted out and that's right over a leaf spring. But I got it done. There's a few other places I need to do. So you can see the headliner here, all the bubbles in it, and it just deteriorated, come loose from all that foam. What they do though, that's kind of like the other side had in it. That one's actually in better shape. I guess I could put that back in it, but anyway. I got a question for you guys. I was a dumbass, and I backed side to side into this thing. And I did that. If you guys can see it or not. Any idea the easy way to get that out without having to drill holes and pull it? Because it's right in the crease, so it's probably not going to pull out very easy. But it's a pretty good little divot. I can get in behind it a little bit. Well, I can push it out with my fingers a little bit. I think some of it will push out, but... All right, Roby. Be careful. For the ice cream truck project, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say something about that ice cream truck, but I'll leave it alone. I won't bring nothing up, so... Anyway. But my plan for the No Name Nationals this year is take Mellow Yellow here. Hopefully by September she won't be as mellow yellow. To end up using the van. I want to set the van up kind of as a tow rig is my plan. That way I can save my truck just for the camper. But use the van as a tow rig to pull the car trailer and to bring the Pontiac to the No Name Nationals. That's my plan. So we'll see. Oh, really? I did not know that the window cleaner will turn that crap purple, huh? Okay, well, I learned something today. Thank you, David. Bang Bus clone, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to make me I know some of these guys use AI song stuff, and I've done it for a couple things. I've got them. I haven't used them, but I've made up a song for the excavator, the Pinto. I think I do have one for the Pontiac. I don't have one for the A-Team van. I need to make up one for that. So, got to go for supper. Good luck with your mission. Well, thank you, Frankie. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Appreciate you. But, yeah. But that's probably what I'm going to be doing in the next few months is the bouncing back and forth. I think once I get most of the parts in on the Pontiac, these parts have been trickling in for the last 2 weeks. And then granted, I've got to buy a few more, but I know we have quite an oil leak underneath there I'm seeing. I can't tell. I haven't got down and checked the fluid. I don't know if we have a rear seal leaking. We have a transmission seal leaking. I know we must have some type of power steering unit. I don't know if it's a hose, the power steering pump, or the actual gearbox. I'm kind of afraid it's a gearbox, but Junkyard D, how are you, buddy? Oh, sorry. There we go. We're working the ceiling. What a dumbass I am. Okay, my bad. But anyway, yeah, I didn't realize it was up there. I was walking around showing the van a minute ago. Not much to see up on the ceiling other than spiders. I lifted that damn headliner up and lost my impressive tool here. So this is a pretty exciting live stream, Junkyard D. You might have to maintain your composure on it, because we're trying to get all the damn foam off of headliner board. So, not the funnest thing in the world, but it's one of those things you got to do. I'll have to suck some of this stuff up for a second, guys. Bear with me. really does make a difference. I know I'm gonna have to go over this a couple times. Duke, what's up, brother? I would have some good tunes on in the background, but I guess I need to bring my computer over. I can play the songs I had made. So, Duke Soup, huh? Richard, how are you, my friend? Duke, I see you're a glutton for punishment also. You're a Ford guy. That's pretty much all I've got for the most part that I work on, because you can't afford the GM products around here. So, that or I'm just too cheap to buy one. I didn't realize that when I bought this Pontiac, how much different Pontiac engines are from a small block Chevy. Quite a difference. I'm running into some stuff that I have an idea, but I don't know 100% on how to go about it, so I got to get a hold of Thumper. I'll send him a message and ask him a few questions, because I've designated him as my official Pontiac guru. So I'm figuring he knows at least more than I do, which wouldn't have to take too much to know more than I do. Richard, do you know what I'm doing here? This here is the headliner board out of the A-Team van. This is the front half of the board, and I've got to recover it, but I've got to remove all this old deteriorating foam off before I can put spray glue down and put the new material. So if I put spray glue on top of that, it'll just come undone again, just like the old headliner. So it's one of those things when you watch the how-to videos. Now this ain't a how-to video. That they don't show you all this little time-consuming work that, you know, hey, a couple seconds, you have a new headliner on. Well, we all wish it was only that easy. One thing I wish I would have learned when I was younger is how to do upholstery. That's a very, I would say it'd be a very good job, good trade to know. Because it appears they make pretty good money from what prices I've seen they charge. So. I guarantee you, after the live stream, there will be some music on here. There's a station close to us that pretty much specializes in mainly 70s, but they do have some 80s rock. But I've got it on my phone, so I can stream it. That's where I'm at. I get very piss poor reception from an antenna. So that's the best way to do it, is stream it from your phone. And we've been on an hour here. I am actually using the headliner material. It I bought it at Hobby Lobby. It's got the foam backing and stuff, so it's supposed to be replacement stuff. I've used regular material on headboards before, headliner boards, but they do tend to show any bad places in the board. Like there's one up there that's a bad place, not the hole, I know that, but there's a couple, I made them a couple things right there, kind of nicked into it. But there's a bad place there I'm gonna have to take and get some contact cement and cover up. But that's why I'm using this and not a drill. I did the drill thing before and I screwed up a headboard one time. I mean, not to say the board wasn't very good to begin with, but I ended up having to put sheet fiberglass on the board to Royal Purple Crushed Velvet. Send it to me. Send it to me, Lotus. 13 running feet. It's got to be 6 foot across at least, I think. I've got the material over at the house because I didn't want it over here because I didn't know when I was going to get to it. And shops like about anybody else's that's out in the country, you have a little problem with vermin. But I'd be all about that purple crushed velvet if the van was purple or white or something. I like purple myself, but I'm weird. Our old house had a purple bedroom. I guess it was more plum than it was really purple, but and the vacuum works good, but this to me is more satisfying. Really doesn't take any more effort, so looks like you're actually making a headway when you get a pile of it. You gotta be careful and keep the damn thing flat. Nick into the board like I have already. That's what I was doing. I messed up and wasn't paying attention to what I was doing and leaned it to one side too much and tore right into it. It's easy to do. Hey, right there. It's just what I'm talking about. I think I had a blemish in it, but it don't take much. A fine line between pushing hard and not pushing hard. Yeah. The last one I did was in a Ford Focus. When my garage burnt, the Focus was next to the garage, and one of my coworkers managed to get the car backed up, but by the time that had happened, pretty much anything was plastic or on the car had pretty much melted off. The front bumper was pretty much gone, the grill, the inner fenders, paint was all scorched on the hood. I mean, it got hot enough to crack the windshield. Even melted the windshield washers, plastic things on the hood off of it. But it got hot enough it actually started burning the headliner board. And I had to piece it together with fiberglass, which the material really didn't like to attach to that slick fiberglass very well. I'm just glad this board was in two pieces. I mean, it was bad enough trying to fight it, getting it out. But if it had been the whole length of the van, it probably wouldn't have came out in one piece, to be honest. Because I probably would have lost patience with it. And when I lose patience, I start pulling stuff out. I don't care what happens. Kind of like you tearing apart the camper. That's kind of what happens. I think you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I had to laugh at that one because I think it was one of the first times I ever watched your channel. I'm thinking, what in the hell is this guy doing? Crashing through the walls, and I was laughing my butt off at that. It was entertaining. I'll give you that. It was entertaining. I'm thinking, what is this guy going to do next? I think that's probably when I seen that video, it's probably what made me subscribe to your channel. If I was more excited, I'd have to be two people doing this. Maybe I ought to do that. I'd get it done twice as fast. I see light at the end of the tunnel, at least. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with my old motor home. Still runs fine. I figured the motor and the transaxle is probably worth as much as the whole camper. Probably more if I had it pulled out. Hey, Raper. Electricity and gas habits that taking all your money. Yeah. It's kind of like Vegas. They're like one-armed bandits. They're silent bandits, though. But you're probably like me. You're spoiled to when you flip that switch, you expect something to happen, like the lights to come on. Unfortunately, I don't have gas at the house. I do have it here in the shop. But a lot of times I'm not out in the shop all day, and it's just as quick to fire up the turbine heater, and it'll run a couple days on 5 gallons of diesel. I'm not saying diesel's cheap, but it was cheaper back in the winter than it is now. And 30 minutes, that turbine heater will have this whole thing warmed up, and then I just flip on the furnace, and it would just stay and maintain the temperature. But I damn sure didn't want to hear that all day long running. So the furnace and everything's outside, so I don't hear it. So. I guess I missed something somewheres here. A bunch of holes with fiber bits poking out of it, yeah. You guys must be talking in code or something I don't know, but that's okay. Oh, you didn't realize it was a van headliner? Yeah. Yep. Chevy van. The emblem says GMC, but it's actual Chevy. Uh, the, the reason the emblem's on there because when Buff made that van, he actually stole that emblems off his dually truck. His dually truck with the big block is a GMC, and I think he stole the emblem off of it and put it on here because the actual A-Team van was a GMC. So he tried to make it authentic as he could, I think, and you know, he done it down and dirty, and you know, on a budget. So he went with tractor paint. Hey, I mean, he must have prepped it halfway decent because the paint's not flaking. I've sanded a couple of the runs out of it, and I got a hold of him and find out what color he used, and I had to order it, but I did get some spray bombs to match. So, and it blended pretty good. Now it's a light color, but it blended pretty good. I have intentions on repainting it down the road if I end up keeping it. But you guys know how it is. I know Chris does, if he's still in here, that you like to keep them all, but you can't. So I had one person one time, they acted like they were interested in a van. I said, well, I'll sell it. Kind of like to do like Buck did, get my vision of it done, and then once it's accomplished, move it on to somebody else and let them continue on with it. Yeah, I've got so many of them now, and a lot of them I've had to get titles. I didn't have a title for the Pinto, and I had to petition the court for a title for it. So basically, it gave me I had to get a court order to send to what we call the DMV. They call it the Department of Revenue, who issues a license. Which they're the Department of Revenue because they take all your damn money. But and I got that in the mail a couple of days ago. It took about 6 weeks. So, but at least I have a title for it. Better than paying one of these businesses to $500 to get it for you. I knew there had to be a way to do it. I actually had a state trooper tell me, the guy I bought it from, he said, oh, you can petition the court for a title. Not a big deal. So I'm kind of looking forward to the Pinto, just for the fact that the tags on it expired in 1994. So it hasn't been yeah, I know, I need a bigger scraper. I do. I do need a bigger scraper, but I don't have one. I do have one, but I don't know where it's at, which is like 50% of my tools. So we're about done. You don't have much left. And but I agree. I definitely need a bigger scraper. This is a little thicker, so I don't get flex in it because this thing's kind of warped and keeps me from digging in too much. I think if I had the flexible scraper putty knife, it would probably dig in a little more. I don't know. I can't say that for a fact because I don't know where the hell it's at. But it's one of those things I'm gonna have to go over it twice, and then like this here, once I get it vacuumed off, I'll probably scrape it one more time. I'll try to find something else. I might wipe it down with cheesecloth, but I'll probably put a little brake clean or lacquer thinner or something to dissolve any more of it that's on there that doesn't come off. I don't want to do this but one time, so if it takes a little longer to get it clean, so be it. I don't like having to do a job a second time around. As Forrest Gump says, I may not be the smartest man, but I don't like doing work twice. The side where the sliding door's at's in pretty good shape. Yeah, a little more support up there where the sliding door's at. I tried to convert that sliding door to put a longer arm on it because it's got them oversized tires and it won't go past the rear tire. And back in the day when they, I don't know what you want to call them, the boogie vans or the customized vans were a thing with the sliding doors in the 70s and 80s. Some company actually had a replacement bar for that latch system. Yeah, you can't find one nowadays. So if you do, you find it. You would probably have a pretty healthy price on it. But almost done, you bet. Life's like a box of chocolates. I'd like to have some damn box of chocolates right now and not be doing this. I'd like to have somebody else doing it. But I got a little section there and a little section here. Trying to do as much as I can sitting down. The last 2 weeks I've been fighting low back issues. And taking that Pontiac engine apart didn't help matters a whole lot. So. Hopefully, the next time you guys see this, the new headliner will be on it. At least that's the plan. So. Oh, you can see how it collapses. You just put your finger in it; it just deteriorates. It's almost gummy, some of it is. Can't hardly get it off with the first round. I know I could be having a vacuum cleaner fired up again, but I'm sure you guys don't want to hear it. This is still doing it, so I'll have to fire it up here in a minute when I clean it off a little bit. 'Cause I don't like letting that stuff sit on there because it sticks back down. Duke Luke, where are you from? Are you an Ohio guy? I don't know if I ever caught where you're from. I know where a lot of y'all are from. Well, at least the state. There's a lucky to in the States. Got a great variety of fast food restaurant and grocery stores. Plus you have a great variety variety of food and soft drinks. Huh? I guess we do. I never really thought about it, to be honest with you. Billings, Montana. Oh my God. You're up in northern country. I would not have guessed Montana. No. All right, I gotta get caught up here, guys. I'm really getting tired of doing this too, so just so you know, any break I can, I'll take. I've never been to Montana. I would like to go. I probably will. Mark Suave, welcome, buddy. How are you doing? You are from your mama and dada? Moving. Yeah, and there's only what, like 750,000 people in Montana, or is that Wyoming? I know one of the two states is the population's pretty low for the size of the state. Which, to me, is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Well, I'm hoping to move, not completely move, but move in the winters to somewhere a little less snowy. I mean, not that we get snow like y'all do up in the north, but a little snow is too much for me anymore. Yeah. My old bones don't adjust to the cold weather very well. All right, guys, let me hit this with the vacuum again. What a mess. What a deal this is. Good times. America Maker, welcome. Moving to southern Colorado. Okay. Well, you'll still be in pretty country. Still be in pretty country. Yeah, you're pretty heavily populated there, ain't you, David? It's been years since I went through there. I mean, many years. I'm thinking, I can't remember. I'm thinking the last time I went to Florida. Well, take that back. I went down there for Bike Week, Daytona Bike Week. Well, it's probably been 15 years ago now. But and before that, I went to Daytona Beach, basically to party with one of my buddies that we worked in a factory, and we thought, well, we'll go down there and party. And I'm telling you, riding from southern Illinois to Florida and a Corvette, a 78 Corvette, without any insulation between the firewall and no air conditioning, was absolutely freaking miserable. American Maker, thanks for coming in. What part of the world are you from? I'm going to guess America. We're in the process of cleaning the headliner board, if you hadn't figured it out. See, this right here, for some reason, is really, really gummy. It's wanting to ball up on me. You probably can't see from the camera, but it's just kind of rolls up. I mean, it comes off, but you've got to scrape multiple times. So. Well, I may have to go over it a couple more times. I don't know, but I become kind of anal retentive sometimes about stuff. I can't help it. It's just the way I am. Anal retentive, even OCD and ADD. I've never been labeled that, but I know how I am. I'm going to guess that's what I am. So, who needs labels, right? We're all nuts, just depends on what degree. I know I am. I just haven't been certified yet and locked up. Tell you how happy I'm going to be when I get done with this. Once I get that, I'm done for today. I'm not going to go any further because I honestly think if I would have had a drywall knife, that paddle, whatever you call it, that I would have probably tore this board up a little bit more. It's pretty wonky. I know you guys probably can't really tell. Let's bring you down here. Let me turn you around so I can see what I'm trying to show you. See the highs and lows in it? Pretty jacked up. We'll get her there. And she don't suck up tight. You know, that's what they make self-tappers for, right? Give me a cup too, Carlo, while you're doing it. I'm doing pretty good, America. Thanks for asking. Mr. hit enter by mistake. You know what? It happens. I call it I fat fingered him, you know? Yeah, I don't even have a bike anymore, so. I went with a group of guys, and it was a pretty good time for the most part. Uh, yeah, I never really run into anybody that was a jerk. I mean, but I'm not the type that I'm going to go out and uh, get shit faced and get on my bike. I mean, at the time I had a dresser, Harley, and I wasn't about to go out and crash that thing and kill myself or somebody else. So one or two beers and sit for a while before I'd ever get on the bike. But I don't understand these guys that go on these poker runs, and more power to them. Maybe they're professionals. I'm not. To go out and drink a beer at every stop and keep on riding all day long, I just can't do that. So, nor do I want to. So, I can't honestly tell you when the last time I had a beer. Well, I guess I probably can't. I think I drank one here a couple weeks ago. I've got beer in my fridge that's probably been in there for over a year. So it's not the freshest. So. Just not my thing. I did plenty of it in my younger days. I don't miss it. I damn sure don't miss the hangovers. Clean this off and all. Crap's already sticking to the plywood. Take a couple-minute break. Oh, well. Oh, we got you looking at the ceiling again. Why do you guys tell me this? Ain't nothing interesting up on the ceiling. Oh. Hello, Carlo, you coming back with that coffee? I'm getting thirsty, buddy. Every year since the 80s, except for the last 3 years. Do you have a bike still, David? You just go to hang out? Yeah. Well, where they patched it, the glue is so good. I had it stickier than crap, and I can't even get that off. That's why I'll probably take some brake clean with a rag. I'll probably not put the brake clean on it, but I'll probably dab it on the rag and try to get that stickiness off. And then turn around and go back with some contact cement. That's what I used to glue the foam down on the gas tank. And man, it worked really good. I think a lot of people are ADHD. Yep, T-tops. Definitely had T-tops because I remember having to, when we stopped in Nashville, and because it started to rain and we had the tops out. I don't know, it was probably, we didn't start off till like 7 o'clock in the evening. And I'm going to guess it was 1 or 2 about that time. And we had to unpack everything because, the back glass on the 78 does not open up. So everything goes in behind the seats. We had to pull all the luggage out because the T-tops was underneath it on the side of the road, put the T-tops in, shove everything back, drove 5 miles down the road and quit raining. Just the way it is. Okay, it's our secret, Duke. Flap disc. I don't think I'm steady enough for a flap disc. I know what you're saying, but yeah, that's true. Is there a reward? Is it worth our time to keep our mouth shut? I think it's what he's trying to say, dude. He used an ice scraper. Well, I've got one of those around here somewhere. It worked. I was using this earlier, but kind of wore the edge off of it, so it wasn't cutting in too much. But I mean, it was working. But you don't want it too sharp because too sharp and it bites in. And no reward otherwise. That's true. You could have made some money off that yourself. New tires. Yeah, I'd kind of like to have a bike again, but it was kind of uh, it was kind of getting to the point that I about dropped it one day. Uh, Stopped at a construction site on an angle, and me and the wife was on the bike, and uh, a car actually came through the construction zone. I'm sure he was rubbernecking or on his phone, and it was probably rubbernecking. Phones weren't prevalent back at that time like they are now. But he come over and just about hit me. So when I went to lean the bike to try to dodge him, because I was sitting still, I had nowhere to go, I just about dropped it. It got heavy on one side. My knees weren't the best, and now my knees are worse. So it was time to let her go. Fortunately, you got to give up some things when you get older. So, hello, Amber. Thanks for coming in. Well, yeah, with a roll cage. You stopped drinking in 2019. Well, I can't say that I've stopped. I just really don't do it anymore. I mean, usually if I have a bad, like I say, my back's been bothering me a lot here lately. And a lot of times I'll take a muscle relaxant. I know I'm telling on myself, a muscle relaxant and drink a beer and go to bed. And that seems to where it'll make me sleep real good, and it kind of takes some of the stiffness out of the back. So, tore your ACL. See, that's my problem right now. I have an ACL that's tore. I've had microscopic surgery on it. It didn't work, and I still have issues with it. Probably need a knee replacement, but I can't see that happening. Well, I ended up buying after that dresser. I wanted to get back into it. I bought one of them Can-Am three wheelers. Now I don't even remember what's called now. The dress one with the saddlebags and everything. And My wife didn't like the way she sat on it because on the Harley, she sat up above me and she could look over my head. Well, the Can-Am, she couldn't. And it made her car sick, motion sickness. So we tried different things and I finally sold it. I think that was about around COVID time. And people were ordering new Can-Ams and they couldn't get them. People, they were telling them it was over a year wait list. So let's just say I didn't have any hard time selling my Can-Am. Matter of fact, I got out of it almost what I paid for it because supply and demand. There was none of them coming out, and people were wanting them. I think it only had 3,000 miles on it, so it was like new. And the guy I sold it to didn't even test drive it. I'm thinking, you got to ride it, man. He was scared to ride it, so I don't know what he ever did with it, but anyway. Did you get my coffee, Carlo? Yes, a Gull Wing is a lot of a bike. It would probably mess me up until I got used to it because the Gull Wings, the fairing's stationary. On the Harley, the fairing turned with the handlebars. But we rode that dresser all over. I'd say we were probably 18 different states on the Harley, because that's how we used to take our vacations. I had a little trailer we pulled behind it. One thing I didn't like the way the Can-Am, it was like driving a four-wheeler. The way, if you guys have ever driven a four-wheeler, you've got to kind of lean into them and stuff. And to me, it wore me out. Again, maybe I was trying to fight the machine too much. I don't know, but I've had a few dirt bikes. That's what I started on. I got to plug it in. I had my first bike when I was 6 years old. My dad bought me. It really wasn't a bike. It was a Honda QA50. You want to call that a bike. And pretty much all my childhood I had a bike, and then I got away from them, and as I got older I bought my own. So sagging happens with age. Yes, it does. I'm doing pretty good, Amber. How are you? Sorry I got behind on comments. Don't call me Randy. Yeah, that's right, Carlos. We know that. Vic, what's up? How are you? A planer blade and pull the blade instead of push it. Well, it would be good if this thing was level, but it's got dips in it. So if it was flat and level board, I could probably do it, but it's not really wood. It's not really cardboard. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's got a fiber piece glued in between a little white piece. So it's probably a piece of plastic in it. So I don't know. All I know is that if you got the scraper a little cockeyed, you will gouge it. So exactly. You are correct, America. Have you ever seen somebody said, and this is the same difference as reading a book or on your phone. People will actually have a book laid up in their steering wheel reading as they drive down the road. I'm like, they ought to have their license taken away from them. And people that are on their phone drive like a drunk driver. It's exactly the way they drive. I've been to classes that say that, so it's just not me saying it. Big Dog Chopper. Couldn't ride it. Handlebars too high. Sat too low for your liking. Yeah. I bought a Ridley, Ridley. I know probably none of you guys have heard it. They were an American company. And I bought it for my wife because it only has a 24-inch seat height. It's a full-size bike. It just low to the ground. And I don't even think I have a picture of it anymore. But they were automatics, 750 cc's. They were kind of cool. They were unique. And I think they were built in Oklahoma City. They're no longer in business. But I put it on eBay, sold within 2 days to somebody in California. He paid dearly for shipping. They sent a semi down for it. Crossbow. Yeah. Cool fact, you used to build custom Harleys and send them overseas. Really? I wonder if I got a couple buddies that are police officers over in Italy. They actually work for the police over there are federal. So, and they're actually motorcycle officers. So they ride the Ducatis, but their personal bikes are Harleys. So you never know, they may have one of your bikes that you built. Yeah. Yep, that's true. They rarely survive crashes unless you got a deep pocket. Yeah. Mine was an Ultra Glide, and I really enjoyed it. I loved having the radio on it because I like my tunes. I actually had a camera mount. I had back before they had the little cameras. And I had a pretty good sized camera mounted up on my handlebars where I could. It was kind of cool watching the videos we have a lot of windy roads here. So a lot of people come from all over the country to ride our roads, kind of like the Dragon. So, yep, the Road Glide, yep. Yeah, they have a lot of things for them anymore. It's just probably best I stay off of them nowadays. So. Honda 80, then a Yamaha 125 YZ. I remember the YZs. Damn, them things were temperamental, but boy, they would run. Oh, two-strokers. I had a DT 125 Yamaha. It was the street trial, I guess, version of it. I had it for several years. It was a good bike. And rode it everywhere. Then I put a knobby on it, and then I found out that knobby bites in a lot harder than a trial star. And it come over on top of me a few times. So. Cousin Can-Am Spider, yeah. Can't keep up with the acceleration. Let's say Rotella. It ain't Rotella. Well, the damn engines, they are quick. Never rode a Ninja. Never was much into the crotch rockets. Hayabusa, yeah, never rode one of those either. A Grom. Is that a Honda? The Grom, little kind of odd looking little bike. So if that's what I'm thinking it is, I've heard of them. I just can't place it. Superbike. Well, the thing of it is, here in our state, it's not a primary enforcement, it's what they call it. You cannot pull somebody over if you see them using their phone because it's not a primary offense. It's a secondary offense. Now, granted, if they fail to maintain their lane, they're speeding, bad driving, reckless driving, yeah, that you can pull them over for that. And then if you seen them on their phone, that's a secondary charge that you can write them for that also. Well, I assure you that the cops would rather not have that computer in their car. I assure you that. And that's departments that are doing that. I don't like that myself, but that's the way things are. Okay, maybe some Pepsi, that would be great. I don't know if you heard that in time. Little yellow Yamaha 50. Yellow, white, and black, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't have the balance I once did. I'm kind of like a weeble nowadays. I wobble, and sometimes I do fall down. Yes, the other drivers. The people with that constant head up butt syndrome. 1,500 nitrous power Kawasaki drag bike. He had a death wish then. My guess, my thoughts. Why would you want a nitrous bike on the street? The fastest I ever been on a bike was 110. And when my eyes were watering so bad I couldn't see in front of me, I figured that was fast enough. And then I thought, what if my tire blows? I didn't stay going that fast that far. So, okay. All right, Vic, thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate you. A Ducati, yeah. I don't know if you spelled it right or not. I'm not the grammar police, so you're good here. You're safe. Rode it on one wheel. I never was coordinated enough to ride anything on one wheel, so. Oh, I'm sure it was bad. I bet nobody could touch him, but God, you'd have to have some kahunas to ride it. Okay. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But yeah, these three guys from Italy, they came over back when I was in a bike club. They come over and hung out with us. They didn't know a bit of English. We didn't know a bit of Italian. They were here about 2 weeks, but they were cool guys. I mean, guys are guys no matter what country you're from, whether you speak the same language or not. We got along and they understood us and we understood them for the most part. One of the guys learned the word poop. He knew what poop and food was. So, but it was kind of funny. They evidently in Italy, there is no Walmart, and they were staying with one of the guys that I worked with, and he took them to Walmart, and they were having a heyday, buying cameras and all kinds of stuff, because I guess there's a lot of duty tax and stuff like that in Italy for it. So I don't know. Was a grasshopper hit me in the throat? Splattered, yep. I actually had a bird hit me right here in the shoulder. I think it was a quail come out from the side of the ditch. And I can't even remember what bike I had. I probably had KZ1000 because it didn't have a windshield on it. It hit me, and it hit me hard enough that it took my arm off the handlebar like that. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Yeah. Took a bit to breathe. Yeah. Yeah, when you're going fast enough. Yeah. And I'll just think if that had been a bird or a bee. I've been hit by a bee. I got hit by a buzzard one time. And I have people that can attest to that were behind me because I was leading a group of bikes. And that thing, I think it scared him as bad as it scared me. I could have grabbed his leg. He was that close. But that thing shit up my bike, shit on my pants. I was covered in it. So I'd say it scared the shit out of him, and it about did me too, because I ended up locking the brakes up, sliding sideways a little bit, but I managed to correct it before everybody ran over my butt. So, but that was kind of a scary deal there. I was in an MC. It was actually, it's no longer a club anymore. It was the 50 MC. We were actually a charitable organization. So it started out being a law enforcement only site, and then we converted to anybody without a criminal history could basically join it. And we had EMTs, we had businessmen, we had several from all walks of life. So, and we did some benefits to raise money for different things. We actually did a bike ride for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And they hit me up for a few years after that. So, but by then we had done disbanded. So, yes, I was the road captain. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, I was the road captain. I was probably the 5th or 6th member of the club. So, somewhere I still have my vest for it, and it probably says road captain on it. I haven't seen it in years. Webster Bike Show, they have once a month, yeah. I haven't been to any bike shows in quite a while. We used to go a lot of poker runs. You don't have a windshield for a 500, yeah. Oh, you was the president. Okay. What was your club, if you don't care to say? I know some people were in the 1%ers. I think our patch said 99%ers is what we had on our vest, 99%ers. So. Because we had a 3-piece patch. Shades of Gray. Is that still a club? Or have they disbanded? Yeah, disconnected for a second. I don't know if it's still connected, but shut it down. Yeah. They have their good points and bad points, and I think a lot of ours, some of the crew kind of thought they kind of wanted to be more like the 1%ers, and 99% of us uh, weren't up to that, wasn't for that. So I understand what you're saying, Carlo. So, guys, I've been on here for over 2 hours. So we're going to have to pick up where we left off another day, I think. Um, like I say, probably the next time I do a live stream, I don't know if I'll be back on a Wednesday or not. Lars, thanks for coming in. Or if I'm just going to start doing them on special events. I know you guys are all regulars and I appreciate you. I'm not hardly getting any new subscribers off of it. So, kind of defeating the purpose at this point, other than hanging out with y'all, which I do enjoy. So, but anyway, I'll see you on the next one, no matter where we're at. And you guys have a great day, okay? Thanks for coming in.